BMW X8 Monolith Concept, when design becomes a declaration. For years, the automotive world has looked at BMW with a mix of admiration and uncertainty. The brand that once defined understated athleticism and driver-focused elegance has steadily shifted towards something far more confrontational. From the controversial split headlight design of the X7 to the aggressive, geometric form of the XM, BMW has made one thing clear: it is no longer interested in being subtle. This evolution has not been accidental. It has been deliberate, calculated, and increasingly polarizing. Now, that trajectory reaches its most extreme expression in a design study that feels less like a vehicle and more like a philosophical endpoint: the BMW X8 Monolith Concept. This is not merely another luxury SUV. It is an architectural statement on wheels. The end of softness, a rejection of modern automotive trends. In an era where automotive design is increasingly defined by aerodynamic efficiency, flowing curves, and softened surfaces, particularly in the electric vehicle space, the X8 Monolith stands in direct opposition. It rejects the idea that luxury must appear friendly. It rejects the idea that modern vehicles must look light, smooth, or approachable. Instead, it embraces mass, weight, volume, presence. The X8 Monolith is unapologetically brutalist. Its surfaces feel carved rather than sculpted, as though the vehicle was chiseled from a single block rather than shaped by airflow simulations. This is not a machine designed to disappear into traffic. It is designed to impose itself upon it. But as BMW pushes further into this territory, an unavoidable question emerges. Has the brand reached the limit of how much aggression a luxury buyer is willing to accept? Front fascia, the face of impossibility. One word defines the front of the X8 Monolith Concept: impenetrable. The iconic BMW kidney grille, once a functional cooling element, later a design signature, has now transformed into something structural. In this concept, it no longer feels like an opening. It feels like a barrier. The grille is massive, vertically oriented, and completely blacked out. It references BMW's pre-war design language, when grilles were tall, dominant, and symbolic of mechanical authority. But here, that heritage is translated into a modern context, stripped of ornamentation and softened edges. This is not nostalgia. It is reinterpretation. The grille does not invite air. It confronts it. Flanking this intimidating centerpiece is one of the most restrained lighting signatures BMW has produced in years. Slim, laser-etched LED headlights sit high and narrow, creating a predatory gaze that feels deliberate and controlled. Unlike the current X7, whose stacked lighting elements create visual complexity, the X8 Monolith opts for minimalism as a weapon. The result is more unsettling than aggressive. This is a face designed not to impress, but to dominate a rearview mirror. The cost of brutalism, aerodynamics as a sacrifice. Design decisions at this level always come with consequences. By creating such a flat, vertical front surface, BMW knowingly sacrifices aerodynamic efficiency. This is not a vehicle optimized to slice through air with elegance. Its coefficient of drag is clearly not the priority. Instead, the X8 Monolith appears to move forward through sheer force of intent. This is a conscious design choice. The vehicle does not apologize for its resistance to airflow. It treats air as something to be pushed aside, not accommodated. That philosophy alone places it in stark contrast with nearly every modern luxury SUV currently in development. Lower intakes and front structure. Control replaces chaos. One of the most successful aspects of the X8 Monolith's design lies in the treatment of its lower front section. Where the BMW XM feels visually chaotic, its lines overlapping, intersecting, and competing for attention, the X8 Monolith displays discipline. The lower air intakes are integrated with clarity and purpose, forming a coherent structure rather than decorative aggression. A high-gloss carbon fiber front splitter anchors the design. It transitions cleanly into wide-body flares that visually plant the vehicle onto the road. This isn't merely aesthetic. It communicates stability, weight, and intent. Everything feels intentional. Nothing feels accidental. Side profile, armored by design. Viewed from the side, the X8 Monolith abandons any pretense of being a traditional family SUV. The belt line is high. The greenhouse is narrow and tapering. The glass area feels compressed. The effect is unmistakable: armor. This is a vehicle that looks protected rather than transparent. It does not invite visibility, it restricts it. The side profile reinforces the idea that this machine exists to shield its occupants while projecting dominance outward. It feels less like transportation and more like a tool of urban authority. The proportions are heavy, deliberate, and intimidating. There is no attempt to visually reduce its mass. BMW wants you to feel its weight, even while standing still. Rear design: mechanical honesty in a sanitized era. The rear of the X8 Monolith Concept continues the Brutalist narrative without compromise. The focal point is immediate: quad-circular exhaust tips. In an automotive landscape where luxury brands increasingly hide exhausts or replace them with decorative plastic elements, this decision is striking. It is a declaration of mechanical honesty. These exhausts do not pretend to be symbolic. They are functional. They are proud. Their presence strongly suggests a high-performance internal combustion powertrain, likely a twin-turbocharged V8 paired with a high-output hybrid system. This is not a vehicle that hides its appetite for fuel or power. It announces it. Lighting and aerodynamics: controlled aggression. Above the exhaust sits a rear light bar unlike anything currently associated with BMW. It is thin, segmented, and accented with subtle blue highlights. These accents hint at advanced hybridization or next-generation laser lighting technology. The light bar spans the width of the rear, visually reinforcing the vehicle's mass while maintaining restraint. Below it lies what may be the most aggressive rear diffuser ever conceived for a BMW SUV. Deep carbon fiber fins extend outward, designed to manage turbulent airflow created by such a large, blunt form. This is functional aggression, not styling theater. Wide-body execution, where power becomes visible. The true brilliance of the rear design lies in the wide-body execution. The fenders do not merely flare outward. They wrap tightly around the wheels. This design choice emphasizes the sheer width of the tires, making the vehicle appear planted, heavy, and unmovable. It communicates expense, strength, and speed simultaneously. This is not subtle luxury. This is industrial luxury. Identity crisis: the weight of becoming something else. And this is where the X8 Monolith becomes more than a design exercise. It becomes a question. For decades, BMW defined itself as the ultimate driving machine, a brand synonymous with balance, agility, and driver engagement. The X8 Monolith Concept represents the opposite extreme. This is a vehicle approaching 6,000 pounds. It is not light. It is not nimble. It is not discreet. To make a machine of this scale drive like a BMW would require extraordinary engineering. Active roll stabilization, rear axle steering, and advanced hybrid torque fill systems would be mandatory to mask its mass. From a technical standpoint, it would be a masterpiece. But philosophy matters as much as performance. Is a machine like this still aligned with BMW's core identity? Or has the brand crossed into a new territory where dominance matters more than balance? BMW X8 Monolith Concept: power, identity, and the risk of going too far. The BMW X8 Monolith Concept is not meant to be comfortable in its implications. It is meant to provoke debate. If Part 1 explored what this vehicle is, Part 2 must confront what it means for BMW, for luxury design, and for the future of the brand itself. Because concepts like this are never accidents. They are signals. The target buyer: a new definition of luxury power. The X8 Monolith is not designed for the traditional BMW loyalist. It is aimed at a very specific modern buyer. Someone who finds a Range Rover too polite. Someone who finds a Lamborghini Urus too theatrical. Someone who wants wealth expressed not through flash, but through intimidation. This is a buyer who values industrial luxury. Not elegance, not sportiness, but dominance. The X8 Monolith speaks to individuals who see luxury as insulation from the world rather than connection to it. People who want to feel protected, elevated, and untouchable inside a machine that projects authority outward. This is not aspirational luxury. It is declarative luxury. Industrial luxury, a new tier of status. Traditional luxury has always been about refinement. Soft leather, polished wood, graceful lines. The X8 Monolith represents a shift towards something colder and more architectural. This is luxury inspired by concrete, steel, and mass rather than silk and craftsmanship. The vehicle feels less like a car and more like a structure, a moving building, and that is intentional. In a world where wealth has become increasingly visible and competitive, subtlety no longer communicates power to certain buyers. For this audience, silence and mass speak louder than elegance ever could. The X8 Monolith doesn't whisper status. It embodies it. Engineering reality. What it would take to make this drive like a BMW. Here is where fantasy meets physics. A vehicle of this scale, nearing or exceeding 6,000 pounds, cannot rely on traditional driving dynamics. To deliver anything resembling BMW's historical reputation, the engineering would need to be extreme. Active roll stabilization would be essential to counteract body lean. Rear axle steering would be mandatory to reduce the sensation of length and improve agility at low speeds. A high-output hybrid torque fill system would be required to mask weight during acceleration and corner exit. This is no longer about chassis tuning. It is about engineering illusion. The illusion of lightness. The illusion of agility. The illusion of effortlessness. BMW has proven it can create these illusions before. But each layer of technology adds complexity, cost, and philosophical distance from the brand's roots. At some point, the question becomes unavoidable. Is this still driving pleasure? Or is it merely managing mass? The powertrain implication, performance as a statement, not a tool. The quad circular exhausts make one thing clear. This concept is not apologetic about internal combustion. In an era where many luxury brands downplay or disguise their engines, the X8 Monolith does the opposite. It puts mechanical intent front and center. The likely configuration, a twin-turbocharged V8 paired with a powerful hybrid system, would deliver immense torque and effortless acceleration. But this performance would not be about engagement. It would be about force. The vehicle would not encourage spirited driving. It would discourage resistance. Acceleration would feel inevitable rather than exciting. Speed would feel heavy rather than playful. This is performance as dominance, not interaction. And that distinction matters. The BMW identity question, when philosophy becomes unstable. For decades, BMW's identity was clear, balanced, driver-focused, athletic. Even when the brand moved into larger vehicles, that philosophy remained visible. But the X8 Monolith represents a fundamental departure. This is not a driver's vehicle in the traditional sense. This is a presence vehicle, a machine designed to make the driver feel powerful rather than involved. That shift is not inherently wrong, but it is dangerous. Brands are defined not just by what they add, but by what they abandon. If BMW fully embraces this monolithic design language, it risks becoming something else entirely. A manufacturer of luxury fortresses rather than precision instruments. Relevance versus heritage, the strategic gamble. Why would BMW take this risk? Because relevance today is brutal. Luxury buyers are no longer unified. Some crave sustainability. Some crave performance. Others crave dominance. The X8 Monolith targets the last group. It is BMW asking a bold question. What if relevance now requires intimidation rather than elegance? This is a gamble, because while brutalist design attracts attention, it also exhausts it. Aggression has a shelf life. What shocks today can feel excessive tomorrow. BMW must decide whether this language is an accent or the foundation of its future. Comparison to competitors. Why this isn't about winning. The X8 Monolith is not trying to beat competitors on paper. It is not chasing lap times. It is not chasing drag coefficients. It is not chasing efficiency. It occupies a space beyond comparison.